Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for December 6th. December 6th is the 340th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 341st in leap years, with 25 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is ratification. We've heard and used this word a good bit, and I thought it would be good to take a look at its definition. Ratification is a noun that refers to the act or process of ratifying something, such as a treaty or amendment, a formal confirmation or sanction. So here we have yet another word that uses itself to describe itself. So let's dig a little deeper. The word ratify is a verb that means to approve and sanction formally or confirm. I was personally curious as to the source and origin of this word, and it comes to us through Middle English, Anglo-French before that, originally from Latin, a word that meant to calculate. In medieval Latin, the meaning of ratification came to mean to confirm or approve. So I guess one confirms or approves an idea after calculating on it. Makes perfect sense. First known use of the word ratification is in the 1400s. Ratification. Remember, if you have a word you'd like us to examine in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll take a look at it. And with that, once the American Revolutionary War had been fought and won, the Founding Fathers had a few points of business to sort out. The Congress of the Confederation convened and appointed New York City as a capital. Now, I don't know if they intended it to be a temporary capital from the get-go, but that's how it worked out. New York was the last U.S. capital under the Articles of Confederation and the first capital under the Constitution of the United States. That said, on December 6, 1790, the U.S. Congress moved from New York City to Philadelphia. Now, we've mentioned the 13th Amendment on this channel more than a few times. That's the one that abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime. It had been passed by both houses of Congress, went out to the states for ratification, and was ratified by the state of Georgia on December 6, 1865. This ratification from Georgia completed the required number of ratifications required to enact this amendment into law. The Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. was completed on December 6, 1884. This is the birthday of Michael George Smith, born December 6, 1943, or commonly known as Mike Smith, the singer, songwriter, and music producer and lead vocalist and keyboard player for a group called Dave Clark 5. Dave Clark 5 were the main British rival band to the Beatles before the Rolling Stones came along, and they were a big part of the phenomenon known as the British invasion of the 1960s. We've mentioned that particular British invasion before on this channel. Mike Smith and Dave Clark met when they were teenagers, and Dave Clark invited him to join the band. The Dave Clark 5 enjoyed a great deal of success in the mid-60s. They disbanded in 1970 once the British invasion phenomenon had waned. The group had something like 17 top 40 U.S. hits, and Mike Smith wrote a good many of them. Glad All Over, Bits and Pieces, Because, just to name a few. Once Dave Clark 5 band was finished, Mr. Smith remained in the business until the end of his life. He passed away in 2003 at the age of 64. Now, we've mentioned the 25th Amendment before on this channel, fairly recently as I recall. 25th Amendment to the United States Constitution deals with presidential succession, disability, and clarifies the order of succession in the presidential line. The 25th Amendment gets a mention today because it was on December 6, 1973 that the House of Representatives voted to confirm Gerald Ford as the Vice President of the United States after Spiro T. Agnew resigned amid controversy. Interesting times those were. Now, I've probably mentioned other things for December 6th in previous episodes, so I'll go find one of those and include a link to it for you, just in case you'd like to check that out. Today's song is Because by Dave Clark 5. Written by Mike Smith and Dave Clark, the song appeared on their album America Tour and reached number 3 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 in 1964. Because has been described as a warmly romantic ballad and has been covered by the Supremes and by Julian Lennon. Because by the Dave Clark 5, link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, check out the playlist that contains these videos, and I'll put a link to that in the description. The description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again and all. See you next time. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for... Oh, where's your microphone? Okay, we don't want to say the same thing twice. Oh, get your microphone. What is it with you and this microphone? Okay, here we go. Okay, we are still recording. That's great. Okay. How about that? We'll have a lot to edit today. Cacophony is a sound... Oh, cacophony is a noun that you got to read it the right way. Let's start over. It's 8 o'clock, so all of the reminders are going to be dinging. I forgot to turn those off. This is the birthday.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.